who our guests are going to be.
Oh, yes. Believe me, that was talked about many times because a lot of people, just didn't realize how good the guy was. I mean, I'm telling you now, he was the best pitcher I ever saw.
And an entire family. I mean, would you agree with that?
100%. Hand-eye coordination, just true athlete. Bert by far. I mean, Bert we played tennis all the time growing up, and Bert growing up was number one.
You could have put. It didn't matter where you put Tyler Chadwick. He'd find a way to get it done. He's just one of those guys.
Hey guys.
Yes, sir.
Hey buddy. Are we live?
Hey, you said you wanted to come in hot.
Hey, that was a great intro, my friend.
What's up, brother?
I'm doing great. It's been a while.
Man, you look good, man.
Thank you, brother. I'm all fresh. I just got I got back from Florida last week. Spent a nice time down there in Naples and the west coast of Florida, watching some baseball and chilling with the wife.
You on that Ozempic? It's okay. It's okay.
That's why I wear my black. Hey, can you see me okay?
Yeah, you look great, man.
Okay,
you
cool.
Look great.
On my little phone, I look tiny.
No, you look good, man. I look like I can beat you up now.
I'm still I'm still in the Clydesdale division though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, thanks for joining, Colton.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
Oh, yes, sir, man. You need anything from me, CD?
No, just when we finish, when we wrap it up, just close us out.
All right, man. Hey, I got to listen to this. This is going to teach me how to make some money.
Absolutely. Well, you're pretty good at that, Todd. I know what you do.
Don't let me fool you.
You're more of a white collar guy.
Definitely. But I can be blue collar if I need to, but that's not my first go to.
You're like my baseball team. We might be from 3-car garages, but we play like we're from a trailer park.
Right. That's the best way to be. That's the best way to be. But go back to the 3-car garage afterwards.
Exactly.
You guys have a good night.
Thank you, Todd.
All right.
What's happening, Colt?
What's up, Mr. Dorsey? How are you?
You can call me Coach Dorsey, or you can call me Chris. You don't have to call me Mr. Dorsey anymore. And if you slip up and call me Mr. Dorsey, don't worry about it. But you can call me Coach Dorsey.
Yes, sir.
Because you had a bunch of friends. My best friends coached you back in the day, Coach Jackson and Coach Frick.
That's two really good coaches there.
They were the best in the business. Well, man, listen, I'm going to go ahead and get started on this because, this is probably your first podcast like this. And I want to explain to the audience why I picked you. So, I've only met you a few times in my life and always gravitated towards you. I felt like you were a kindred spirit, and Coach Jackson and Coach Frick spoke so highly of you. And we always kind of ended up talking at games. I remember you and I would talk with Coach Jackson, and you never had a filter, even when you were a 18, 19-year-old kid. So I always liked that. And Jackson always liked you. So, and then then our relationship you kind of reached out to me a few times for some advice when you were starting your career off. And basically we've just kind of followed each other and been kind of loyal to each other. You've used my dumpsters and I promote your business whenever I can up in your area. And so we've kind of become buddies, even though, you could be my son, but now that you're out in the real world and you're kicking butt, we're buds. Yes, so I want to go start off and tell everybody who you are and what you do.
My name's Colton Byars, and I have a heat and air business in Gaffney, South Carolina.
Man, and we're going to talk all about how you got that heat and air business too. How many employees do you have working with you now?
We have 6 guys now.
How many vans?
We just got the newest one, so we got 5 vans now.
That's unbelievable. And Colt, how old are you?
24.
24 years old with 4. Did you say 5 vans?
5 vans, yes, sir.
5 vans. You wake up every morning and you go out there and y'all are slammed with business. I mean, are y'all just slammed?
Pretty much, yes, sir.
Unbelievable. So, all right, that kind of tells everybody what you're doing. You're in the heat and air business. You're 24 years old. That in itself is absolutely amazing. At 24 years old, having 5 vans, 6 employees, you run the business. You're out there. I mean, that is absolutely incredible and so hard to do. It's like I tell everybody in baseball and sports general, 99.9999% of the people that even make it to the major leagues, all the way to the major leagues, they still have to go to work somewhere eventually and earn money.
Yes,
and
sir.
To be a 1%er in the state of South Carolina, you make over $250,000 a year, and you're a 1%er in business. And I got a feeling that you're already there at 24 years old. You're saving money and everything, but and we're going to get on that ride in a minute. But let's tell everybody where did you grow up, Colton?
I grew up in Gaffney, South Carolina, and later on in high school moved to Simpsonville, South Carolina. Played baseball at Hillcrest High School.
Yeah, I talked to Dale Nelson. He's a friend of mine, and he said that you never played for him. You played for.
That was unfortunate. That was one of the best coaches in the state is there too.
I've always liked Dale a lot. We've known each other since high school. He's a great guy. So Colton, tell me about your family. I mean, I've met your dad, Steve, before.
Yes,
but you got how many brothers and sisters do you have?
I got one brother. His name's Tucker. Then my mom, Dina, my dad, Steve. They just moved back to Gaffney. My dad's electrical engineer, owns his own electrical engineer company. And my brother's, he works for a company called Audius, and it's got something to do with music, and I'm not very sure on that.
So your brother and your dad are very, very intelligent, very smart guys. Like, I mean, I know your dad is your dad an electrical engineer?
Yes, sir.
Wow. I mean, that's very smart to be one of those guys. And your brother's kind of an engineer too. He has that engineer mind.
He's pretty smart. I don't know if he could be an electrical engineer, but he's pretty smart.
So what, your mom and stuff, like, what did she do? I mean, she take care of the family?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Very good. She was a teacher growing up. And then got to the point where she didn't necessarily have to work. So she took advantage of that. Tell me how your father, electrical engineer, that has to play into the fact that you're obviously, I couldn't, if you'd have told me, Chris, hey, I want you to go to HVA school and become an HVAC guy, I'd said I'd rob banks before I do that, because I'm really good at tearing down things and picking up garbage and taking it to landfills. That's what I'm a demo guy. And so, did your dad have something to do with that, with you getting into this business? Yes, sir. Absolutely. He told me when I was playing baseball and I knew I was going to go to a junior college, we were looking at all the options of schooling and stuff like that. And I knew associate of arts or science or whatever they offer, I just didn't really interest me at all. And he told me, he's like, if you do heat and air, or he said, if he'd done heat and air, he's like, I'd be retired by now. I was like, well, all right, that's what I'll do. And so that's what got me in the door there.
So tell me, so you were a highly recruited player. I actually saw that you were number 4 ranked catcher in the entire state. You had a bunch of offers from colleges, and so where did you? So and you were in the North-South game, very decorated player.
Yes, sir. So I started out at Florence Darlington University or Community College. I don't know, Florence Darlington Technical College. That's what it is. Yeah, Flodar. Yeah, they're one of the top JUCOs. Pretty much every year. And things didn't work out great there. Got hurt a couple of times and just didn't go great there. And really, I went to work after that. After my first year at Flodar, I went to work. Started doing heating and air, and then I had some buddies that were a year. They were a year behind me, coming up in high school and all, and they were committed to play at Catawba Valley, where I ended up going back to play. And they kept texting me. They were like, dude, you gotta keep playing. Like, just give it another try, whatever. And I talked to my dad. He was like, I mean, if you want to do it, go do it while you still can, because
when you get older, you ain't gonna have that chance. So, like one of the guys still playing baseball. He plays for Grambling State. He's one of their closers down there. He's a pretty solid player. His name's Javier Martinez. He's the one that talked me into coming back and playing baseball again, and it worked out pretty good for me. Got to meet my wife at Catawba Valley. Got to meet a bunch of great people and just really enjoy playing baseball the next 2 years.
So did you ever get help? Were you 100% healthy your last 2 years?
No. So my first year at Catawba Valley was COVID. We played like 15 games or something. And I mean, I did pretty good. A bunch of my teammates did really good. I mean, we were a pretty solid team, and COVID obviously shut that down. So that sucked. And come back the next year, and we had an even better team. And we had guys. I mean, we had 4 catchers who were all really freaking good. I mean, really, we had everybody. Even the backups were really good. Our team had some depth that year for sure. Then I ended up tearing my labrum. Then I broke my thumb. I was still hitting, so I tore my labrum, still hitting. Then break my thumb. So then I'm done for the season. It just kind of sucked.
And that was Catawba Valley Community College?
Yes, sir.
What did y'all play, like Flodar and USC Sumter and Catawba?
We didn't play them. That wasn't in the region.
Okay. What was y'all's region?
Trying to think back. I know Patrick Henry was region. I believe in Cleveland Community College is.
Where is Catawba Valley?
It's in Hickory, North Carolina.
Okay. So y'all had a lot of talent on your JUCO team, and we got 100 players in this program. And the one thing that I always tell those guys, I said, you guys, go watch a junior college game, go watch a Division II game. Okay. Everybody thinks that they're a Power 4 player, a Division I player. And it's so hard because players at JUCO and the players at Division II are ballers.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of talent at JUCO, no doubt about that. Especially now that you have guys that are like 27 at
right.
at Clemson and Carolina and stuff. So it definitely makes it a little bit harder to get on those rosters.
Well, and so after the community college, because you could have kept playing, you had 2 more years of eligibility, right?
Well, really, I have 4. It's kind of wild. So my first year didn't count for medical redshirt. Second year was COVID, and then my third year it didn't count towards junior college players for some kind of COVID rule. So I still got 4 years.
Okay. So my son plays at Reinhardt University, and he's got guys on his team 24, 25 years old. Now I know why. I've been trying to figure out that rule. So you just nailed it. You get hurt your freshman year in 2000. What was that? 18, 19?
Yes, sir. 19.
So 19, then you get COVID in 20, the COVID year. 21, they just said, who cares? That year doesn't even count.
Right.
And so so you could play you got guys out there playing, they're 25, 26 years old. It's insane. Yeah. It's insane to me. Now I kind of wish I could have kept playing forever as a ball player. I kind of like that because I've kind of it's kind of a double-edged sword here, Colton. A part of me is like, okay, kids, I want y'all to play ball as long as you possibly can because you got the rest of your life to work. Right. But if you're going to play ball, then why not and if you're not going to be a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, a nurse, or something that degree really matters, then get a technical degree. Now, right. Did you get your technical? Did you get your HVAC degree in college?
Yes, sir, I did.
Where?
So when COVID happened, I actually got it through an online school because I was taking heat and air classes, and then I was at Flodar the second semester. I took heat and air classes, and then I just got my certificate online.
How long did it take you to get your HVAC certificate?
It's supposed to take anywhere from 9 months to 12 months, but it was at your own pace. And so I did mine in just a few months. It wasn't much at all.
Wow. And I mean, and then after, so you get that, you quit playing baseball and you go, if I can remember correctly, when I talked to you, you said, I actually recommended you doing this. And I always recommend everybody that's going to be in a trade, a plumbing, HVAC, electrical, is to go work for a company for a year, just so you understand that there's so much on the back end where if you've never seen a business run, you just think everybody just thinks it's easy. I mean, like everybody thinks, oh man, that guy just tons it. And they don't understand all the problems and all the issues on the back end of the operation that you have to do. And so you were able to kind of, and plus you were able to get, your biggest thing is you were able to go out there and get your hands on experience, and having somebody that could teach you for that 1 year, I would assume that was invaluable.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I started out at a place in Greenville. It was a new construction heating and air company. I worked there. It was a little over a year. Then I came to Gaffney and worked at another heating and air place in Gaffney for right at 2 years, maybe a year and a half or so. But then I was like, well, let's see what happens. Let's try to do my own thing.
So you just, I mean, it was just you had nothing, right? I mean, you got a father that's very intelligent, you got family support, but I mean, you didn't have somebody give you, $1 million to go buy trucks and equipment and all that stuff. I mean, tell me, literally tell these young people, just take them through exactly what you did. I mean, how did you do it?
So, really, to have a heating and air business, I mean, can't really do it by yourself. If you got to do an install, I mean, I guess you could do it by yourself, but you'd work yourself to death pretty good doing that. So, talked to my cousin. My cousin does heating and air. He's 21 now. I told him, I said, look, man, I'm about to do this. I was like, you want to start a heating and air business with me? And so we actually partnered up and we started this thing together. And we started out with $16,000, and that was to buy equipment. That was we're going to, drive my own truck to jobs and do whatever we had to do with $16,000. That's what we started out with. And we very fortunately never looked back.
How did you get your customers?
Just word of mouth, really. Facebook and word of mouth.
Wow.
Yes,
so, so were you, when you first started, did you actually had business to go do? I mean, you were busy at the very beginning of?
When we first started, there was a job. It was a really, really big job, and a guy wanted me to do it myself while I was working for another company. And I told him, I was like, man, I can't do that much work, working for another company. Like, that's going to be a week's worth of work if I'm doing it by myself, like there's no way I can do that. And I told my cousin and I told my dad, I was like, if this guy calls me back and he tells me that he's approving this job, I'm gonna turn in my notice and I'm gonna get to work. And that guy called me and I took off working.
Well, I tell you, it's guys like you that aren't scared. You have courage. Courage are people that are scared but do it anyways. And it took a lot of courage at 22 years old. I assume you were 21, 22 when you did it.
Yeah, we've been in business just for a little over 2 years now. So it's about 2 years. Yeah, about 22.
So at 22, you were making pretty good money as a tech working for a company. You had a secure job. You probably a really good company you're working for, and you just walked in. I mean, what did you tell the owner or your boss when you quit?
Well, they weren't very happy. I just went in there. I was like, hey, I'm gonna start my own thing, and they were very confused. I mean, they weren't very happy, but they understood. I mean, that's the kind of everybody's dream is they want to have their own thing, and I mean, they understood it, but they wish me the best and all that good stuff, but
How scared were you scared?
Oh no, I had a good feeling about it.
That's awesome. How do you think that, because I can tell you how I feel, but I'm going to ask you first. How do you think playing ball, like playing baseball your whole life, and with all the failure and all the successes, the ups and downs, and you were the best player on the team before, and then you get to some schools and you might have been the fourth catcher.
Right.
That you got humbled that way. I mean, how do you think baseball played into your, ability to, number one, to go out and have the courage to open up your own business, but also on a day-to-day basis of running your own business for the last 2 years? Take me through how baseball has kind of played a role in that.
Well, I mean, obviously, you fail at baseball a ton, and just you kind of get this work. You work hard trying to. Everybody wants to be in the major leagues or go play at a big school on TV every day and all. So I mean, you just keep working constantly trying to reach your goals, and to teach you a good work ethic, teach you communicating with others and all that good stuff. So just really, really work ethic, and I guess just how to handle people,
Yeah, I think also one of the biggest things that for me, and I think for you too, is I'm 54 years old, but I still I'm still opening up businesses. And let me go ahead and give a plug into your people that are going to be listening in the upstate. Deacon Dumpsters. You see Big Red Box behind me, but that's our roll-off dumpster company in the Midlands. But the upstate is Deacon Dumpsters. We go all the way from Gaffney all the way to Anderson. And I tell you, the upstate it's like that guy that said baseball has been very good to me. The upstate has been very, very good to me. And we've worked our butts off up there. And I love the upstate. Deacon Dumpsters is absolutely on fire up there. And Big Red Box is doing great. And we're starting the reason why I'm wearing this hat right here, my son graduates from Citadel in May, and he's immediately, like yourself, he's going straight into opening his own business. We're going to be partners down there doing roll-off dumpsters down there, which I got tremendous respect for him for doing that. But I think I have the fire in me still at 54 that I did when I was 24. And it's funny because when I was your age, I couldn't really own my own business because I was, still playing in the minor leagues under my brother's name and just having a blast. I played for the Mets for 3 years and I kind of got all that out of me. And then I started, I love golf and I played basketball every single day until I was like 31. The greatest thing ever to happen to me, and I was always a hustler, but I actually took a job with a corporation that I just milked. I mean, honestly, I just used them. It was terrible. I knew I was going to be an entrepreneur, but it's like I had to get my fun stuff out of me. And I was always hustling. I was a ticket scalper. I had, always had side gigs going on. So I was always hustling. But the one thing that when I was your age, I played basketball every day at lunch, and you can't do that. And once I got to the point where I couldn't do all that stuff anymore, and I figured out my golf game was never going to get any good either, I just took all my passion that I always had for sports and my energy, and I put it into my businesses. And, I've been up, I've been down, I've been up, but I've never been out.
Right.
I always believe that, hey, I'm going to make a comeback if we got down. And when I get up too much, I'm like, hey, I don't want anybody to catch me. I want to be the best at it. And I think that burning desire that we both have in your heart that you can't even tell people why you got it is kind of what's driven you.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. No doubt about that.
Because one thing that Jackson told me, and so did Coach Nelson, he said the one thing about you was you were, let's say that you were a fiery teammate. And this probably goes into your leadership role at Byars Heating and Air, is you don't accept mediocrity. You're going to work the hardest. You're going to work. You want everybody to come up to your work ethic. If people are pouting about having a bad day, you don't want to hear it. Let's go. The same thing that I've heard that you've jacked a couple teammates up in your lifetime. I've heard that you've challenged a few coaches before. So you're acting all nice and relaxed back there, but I know there's a big fire in Colton Byars. Am I correct?
You're not wrong.
and there's a burning desire that it's kind of like to be an entrepreneur. I've never met an entrepreneur that didn't have a burning desire. Entrepreneurs are a little bit crazy because you have to be a little bit crazy to take that leap of faith. and but you were also but you're calculated, and you've put the work in. It's like baseball. Practice might be boring, but and working out might be a little bit time consuming and excruciating. But the reason why you do all that stuff is you do it so when the game comes around, you're prepared and you have confidence. And I think that 1 year with working for that company gave you that confidence so that you could go out. Okay, I can do everything I need to do, and now I can go out and execute.
Yeah. I mean, I still learn. Not all the time, but you run into stuff that you never seen before, and sometimes it stumps you a little bit, and you just gotta. That kind of goes back to baseball too. It's like, you go in a slump. I mean, what you're not going to give up. You got to work to get out of these slumps. So, kind of like that. If you're working on something and you can't figure it out, I mean, you got to get it.
You absolutely have to. So, does Flowdar not offer an HVAC technical degree?
Yeah, they do. And I took. I was only there for 1 year, and so I took heat and air classes there.
Okay,
but I was only there for 1 year. 2 years gets the degree.
See, I think Preston McDonald, who I know very well, he's recruited some of our players.
Right.
I think that he should use that as a recruiting tool. I think that
the thing about it is if you get a technical degree, unless they have changed the rules, if you get a technical degree, you can't transfer to play baseball at another school, because a technical degree is 2 years, and those credit hours don't transfer. So, say you go to a tech school for 2 years, I don't even remember. I think it's 30 credit hours a year. So I guess if you go for 2 years, you'd have 60 credit hours. Those wouldn't transfer. So you would transfer in basically as a freshman class-wise, and you'd be a junior on the field. That's not allowed, supposedly.
Well, that's a horrible rule. Think about it. The NIL, they're paying players, and so a kid wants to go get a welding degree, an HVAC, a plumbing certificate, and he's penalized for that. Hopefully, that rule. I'm gonna have to check that rule.
Right.
Hopefully, that's changed, because you talk about insanity. I mean, to me, I would be telling every kid that I recruited I'd be interested to Colton Byars and to my plumbers that I'm friends with that all are multimillionaires, and saying, look, come over here, get a trade degree, and I promise you, with the leadership I'm going to teach you, and being an athlete and being a grinder and a guy that can play ball, you're going to be able to lead people. That's what I tell people when they ask me. They're like, well, Mr. Dorsey, you want me to become a plumber? You want me to become an HVAC tech? You want me to become a welder? I don't want to just do that the rest of my life. I'm like, hey, hold on. You're doing exactly what Colton Byars did. You've got to be an HVAC tech or a trade guy for at least a year or two to learn how to do that. But if somebody wants to choose that and they make $50 to $60 an hour for the rest of their life, God bless them. That's a good living, and then maybe they can be happy. But the thing, what I'm telling kids is, if you get a trade degree, if you're a leader of people, like I think that some of these guys are, you're not going to be just an HVAC guy working for a company for the rest of your life. You're going to be Colton Byars at 24 with 5 trucks and 6 employees and making millions. And I guarantee your revenue is over $1 million.
We do pretty good, for sure.
I know you do. And hey, by the way, I like how you got the look at we're 2 peas in a pod here. I like your Byars Heating and Air and the big red box behind me. You're a smart man. That I've got 3 sayings: ABP, always be promoting.
Yes, sir. ABC,
always be closing. So a guy said the other day, man, sometimes you got to be a little bit. I don't know if it's arrogant, but you have to tell people that, hey, man, I'm pretty good at this. You should use me. Right. You got to be a little bit like that. Kind of like when you go up to bat, you got to be confident when you walk into that batter's box that you're the man.
Yeah. I mean, I tell folks our work speaks for itself. I'll put our work up against anybody. Our team's pretty. I wouldn't say pretty. Our team's really good at what they do. I mean, from service to install. I mean, I'll put our work up against anybody.
Colton, you guys were voted, if I'm correct, I retweeted this, but I just don't know the count. Was it you were voted number one HVAC company in Cherokee County?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
How'd that feel to get that award?
That was pretty cool because there's some other really good heating and air companies around here, so that was pretty sweet.
Now, do you do mostly residential? Like when somebody calls, I mean, do you do like new construction? Or you do repairs? I mean, emergency services. What do you do?
Yeah, we do everything. We do light commercial. We don't do a ton of commercial, but yeah, mainly residential. New construction, we do all that. Service, 24/7 service. I mean, we try to cover as much as we can.
So where do you find the most profit margin when you're doing business like that? I know that my friend that's a plumber, they like the Metz Plumbings, the big plumbing companies that advertise all the time and stuff like that. Their service calls make them the most money, their most profit margin. And a lot of these guys those guys don't even do new construction and stuff. And some of them, and then they do commercial. Where is the best money at? Where's the most profit margin?
It's probably in the service. Just really depends what you got going on. I mean, some stuff you can do in just a few minutes, and it's a few $100, and then some stuff's a lot more than that, and it's done in 30 minutes to an hour. So I mean, it just really depends exactly what job you got going on.
I've got a couple houses and a business and stuff, and I guarantee you I spend just average about $10,000 a year on HVAC. I mean, inevitably something goes out at the lake house or at my house or at my business, probably more than 10,000. So I'm spending $10,000 a year. Yesterday, I paid for an electrician to come install 2 bright lights out in our lay down yard over on Pineview Drive at Big Red Box. He charged me, $1,500. He was there for 6 hours, and I don't care how much I'm paying per hour, because the way I look at it, guys like you, if you send me a bill for $1,000 and you were there for 10 minutes, but you got my air back on and it's 110 degrees, I'm not paying you for by hour. I'm paying you for how good you are at your job.
Right. Yeah, that's one thing we try our best to do is get in and get out and make sure it's right. I mean, you go somewhere in the summer and it's 100 degrees. People aren't happy as it is. So we definitely try to get out there and get it fixed as quick as we can. And most of the time that works out pretty well for us.
Well, Colton, you're 24 now, so you've got a lot of your friends that have just graduated from college. You probably still got some guys that are still in college. You got friends that are still playing baseball. Are these guys looking at you now going, holy crap? I mean, when you pull up in, I'm sure you drive a nice truck. I mean, you probably got a house. I mean, what do they say to you? Because they haven't even started their careers yet, a lot of them.
It's a lot of them talk some. It just, I don't know. It's pretty interesting.
Well, I mean, look, I can tell you this blue collar guy right here. I mean, at 24, I can assure you, I was not nearly as mature as you. I had zero. If you'd have told me I was going to be a garbage man at 24 years old, I told you were crazy. So, I didn't really start Big Red Box. I mean, I had a long career of, I did some developing. I was building houses, and like anything else, I stumble into stuff. I find, entrepreneurs find ways. Hey, that guy's not doing a good job. How can I do it better? And that's how I got in the roll-off business. They were delivering me roll-offs 5 days late. They were picking them up 5 days late. My bills were astronomical. I had no idea that, that you could have a $1,500 roll-off dumpster. So I started thinking to myself, and I had a pods company. And I was like, wait a second. I mean, there's some good money in this. And all I got to do is answer the phone, show up on time, and do the right thing. I think I can do that. That's kind of how I got started in my business, is just literally just doing what I say. And I think that you will find, and I bet you've heard this too. I mean, your competition, I guarantee you, sometimes they don't answer the phone, and it's a shame in the world. And they'll never be Byars Heating and Air. But there's companies out there that I get calls from that, like, contractors say, look, I'm switching because I was calling X company. I'm not going to throw anybody in the bus. They wouldn't answer their phone.
Right. Yeah. I've had that happen before. I mean, in the summertime, man, people in the wintertime, it's not as bad, but the summertime, people don't care who comes out there. They just want air conditioning. So, we were fortunate. I think we won over a lot of customers because we originally started in the summertime, and so it was like, hey, our air's not working, and we normally use this company. Then this is our backup company, but they can't get here for 2 days. And when can you guys come? Oh, we can come right now. And so I think we won over a lot of customers that way.
Colton, things are going really good for you right now. You've got 5 trucks, 6 employees. Where does Colton Byars see himself in 10 years, 20 years? Where do you want your business? I mean, I know you've thought about it a tremendous amount. Where are you going with this business?
I really don't know. I just kind of take it one day at a time. When we get way too much work, we kind of like, okay, well, we worked, 80 hours this week. We probably need to get some help. So then we'll start looking for help. I mean, we just kind of take it one day at a time. I mean, we're still in a 600 square foot shop right now that, Ryan and I started the business out of. We outgrew this shop in 2 months. We're in the process of getting a 6,000 square foot shop built right now. So we're going to definitely stay around Gaffney, and then maybe branch out to some other areas. I think that'd be pretty cool. But I really don't know exactly what the plan is, in the next 10 plus years.
Well, I think what you're going to find that you're going to have to. This is just my prediction, and we can have this podcast. It'll be here forever. I see you definitely branching out and being, you're going to, as every business evolves, you go from the guy that's hands-on. You were the guy, you're in the attics fixing things. You're under the house fixing things. And then the evolution is you've got to become a manager.
Right.
So to grow your business. And then, you kind of become a manager and you go, and this is evolution of any business. I've got a lot of friends of mine that have tried to start businesses, but they want to delegate. You can't delegate when you're starting a business. You have to get in the arena and get your hands dirty and do the job. And then as you evolve, you cruise up and then you go, okay, now I can start getting my crews. Now you've got your 6 guys and your 5 trucks. Now but you're still, and correct me if I'm wrong here, you're still in a truck yourself. Yes, and you're answering and managing, and you're telling, if Johnny's late to work, you're having to tell him, hey man, you want to work for me? You're having to do all that stuff. Right. But it comes a time where you go say, it's going to come a time where you can't afford to be out there in the field anymore. You're going to have to, your evolution will be, 10, whatever trucks it is, or vans it is, you're going to have to manage this company.
Right.
Is that something that you think you could do?
Oh yeah, I can definitely manage it. I don't know what route. I mean, I kind of enjoy going out there fixing things. I mean, every other job you go to is a different challenge. I mean, it's kind of cool. I don't know if we'll hire a manager. I don't know exactly what we'll do. But if it comes down to it and I need to be a manager, I mean that'd be easier on my body, that's for sure. But I mean, we'll just have to see when that time comes.
Colton, I mean, how did you obtain financing at such an early age with no credit?
Well, I didn't. So the house we have, that my wife and I have, we both saved our money up, just, ever since we started working. And we built it's called a barn dominium style house. So,
oh, I love those.
Yes, sir. So the shop is actually connected to my house. And we just paid, all the money we saved up, for our house and our shop. So we didn't have any bills on that. My truck's paid for. Her car was paid for. Well, mine was a hand-me-down from my dad, and hers was, in her family, and it was paid for too. So we didn't have any bills at all, other than, just like power, water, internet and all that stuff. So, we didn't have to have financing on anything.
So wait a second. You paid, so you own your barn dominium on, how many acres do you have?
I have 4.5.
So you've got 4.5 acres with a barn dominium on it with your shop in the back, and it's paid for at 24.
Yes, sir.
That's unbelievable. I mean, you just say that so humbly. I mean, that is an incredible feat. Do you ever listen to a guy named Dave Ramsey?
No, I see some of the stuff on Twitter, but I don't ever really have time to watch it.
Dave Ramsey would have just had an orgasm if he'd heard you just say that. I mean, that is insane. I mean that. So you're just cruising around right now. I mean, and so what about your other van? I mean, is everything in your company paid for?
Yes, sir.
So you don't buy anything unless you can pay cash for it.
Pretty much.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
I mean, that's unbelievable. So, I mean, so you live below your means and everything goes to paying off your debt.
Yeah, we just got a normal lifestyle and ain't nothing crazy. So kind of just put all the money back into the company, and that way, just like we hired the newest guy we hired, he's really good at what he does. We were able to just, go get a van, go get it wrapped, and buy him every single tool that he don't have. I mean, and it's not, we're not sitting here panicking like, how are we going to do this? I mean, because we put all the money back into the company. We don't necessarily make ourselves rich. We get a normal check and put it all back into the company. That way, like I say, when things come up, it's okay. Let's do it.
Well, I've got a friend of mine that does mergers and acquisitions, and he told me that a big HVAC company here in Columbia sold for 14 times EBITDA. 14 times EBITDA is like insane. Like a company like mine, if I could get 7 times EBITDA, I'd be happy. And
Right.
14, so like plumbing companies and HVAC companies right now, people have got to understand that these venture capitalists are looking to buy companies like yours, but they want you to expand. So,
Right.
So like as you grow, they want to get like the more valuable you become. And, by the time you're 30 years old, I can't imagine where you're going to be by the time you're 30. That's 6 years from now. I mean, if you got five trucks right now in 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you'll have at least 15, depending on, if you want to expand.
Right.
And then your revenue. And so what they're going to do is, and I'm not saying you're going to sell. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that you're going to actually, once you get to, the $20 million range, you become a target for a venture capitalist. And I'm saying that only because I want these young people that are in our program to understand that Colton Byars, if you saw him walking down the street, you're sitting there going, oh, that guy's got no money. But Colton Byars is on his way to being a multi-millionaire.
Hopefully so. We'll see.
No, it's not hopefully, it's done. I've been around the block. I know talent. I know ball players. I know business people. Look, with your attitude and your effort and your enthusiasm, and then the fact that you live below your means. I mean, the biggest. If Chris Dorsey could tell Chris Dorsey's younger self, some advice, you don't need to buy all this stuff. I mean, stop it. You don't have to. But of course, I was hanging out with Coach Frick. I mean, what am I supposed to do? But,
I was having a good time.
We were having a good time, but the old, I told my kids, this, the 2 things I tell myself is don't buy stupid shit. And number 2 is invest in, I should have invested in the stock market a long time ago. The stock market's going to be like this and that. Now, one thing that I did do that was good, I invested in myself.
Right.
And you've invested in yourself.
Yes, sir.
And if you believe in yourself, then you can do that. Colton, what would you tell a guy that's about to graduate high school? He doesn't really know what he wants to do, but he does. But he's not in a situation where he can just, let's say he's a guy that doesn't have. He made money the old-fashioned way. Mommy and daddy died one day. He's a guy that has to go earn money.
Right.
What kind of advice would you give? Somebody like that wanted to get in your field?
Well, if he's a hard worker, definitely go after it. If somebody's got a lot of money, try to partner up with somebody and start a heating and air business.
Did your partner bring any some cash to the table too?
Yeah, he brought $6,000, and like I said, we started out total of 16,000.
Colton, just shoot me. I mean, as I'm going to ask, what do you think your projected revenue, total gross revenue, will be this year?
It'll be up there pretty good.
Over $1 million?
Yes, sir.
Over 2?
Yes, sir.
Over 3?
Probably around that area.
Wow, that's impressive, man. I mean, that is truly impressive. I'm actually blown away by the fact that you have zero debt. That's almost unheard of. And where do you buy your vans used?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We'll find them like on Marketplace, on Facebook Marketplace or something, and we'll look for like 50, 60,000 mile vans and just let somebody else pay, all that extra money at a dealership, and we'll get them when they're a little broke in.
Well, do me a favor. If I gotta buy, I need a work truck for down in Charleston. I want it to be about $40,000. So if you see one out there that's got about 30 or 40,000 miles on it for 40, a nice solid F-150 or something like that, send it to me, please. When you're searching for vans.
Oh yeah, we can find that. That ain't gonna be no problem.
I'm not real good at that kind of stuff right there. But man, I tell you what, I'm just, people think I'm a little nuts, and I am. When we started the program, we had 0 players in it. We took it from 0 to 100 players from 19 to 15. But the one thing that I'm trying to explain to them this year is and I might rub some people the wrong way in our organization, some families. And you know what? That's fine. This is just my thought process. This is my beliefs. People can think what they want. But right. The fact that people are going into debt to go to college, that let's say if you go to Wofford, if you don't have somebody that's going to pay for that, you're going to be in debt a couple $100,000.
Right.
And starting off at 23 years old with $200,000 in debt you're just so hamstring. And and then the other point of the thing I'm telling kids is, and parents too, is if you're going to go, I don't know, maybe I'm just so old school that when I went off to college, if I wasn't going to play baseball, and baseball helped me so much because it taught me so many things, and sports in general, basketball, high school, all that taught me tremendous amount. That was a master's degree. That taught me a lot.
Oh yeah.
But the fact that if I wouldn't have gone and played ball, I'd have gone to the Marines, or because I had to work. You got to work. And the last time I checked, college was about, you go to college to, make money at the end of the day. A mother might say, oh, I want him to go have fun, and I want him to go, grow up a little bit. But at the end of the day, man, I'm from the school, you go to college so you can get a degree that makes you money. And the only degrees I'm seeing that are making you money now that are outside the trades, are, accounting, lawyers, doctors, and I'm missing some engineers, the stuff that you really have to target and go get a degree. Your dad got his electrical engineering degree. That was needed, and he's made a lot of money from it. Love those degrees. But if you're going to be a psych major, like you said you were, you're like, or a sociology major, I just don't see the value in it.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
So, I'm just trying to tell these kids, look, there's other paths. I've got a friend of mine's son now that's he played high school baseball. He's getting a plumbing and a electrical at Midlands Tech for free.
Oh, yeah.
And his dad owns a huge property management company. And so he's immediately going to say, okay, I want you to come in here and once you learn how to do all this stuff after a year of working for somebody, he said the same thing that you did. I want you to go work for somebody for a year, then you can come do it. And he's going to go in just immediately with business and making profit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he'll be very successful.
Well, man, I tell you what, it's been a pleasure talking to you, and I wish you nothing but success. Let's make sure that we stay in touch.
Yes, sir.
And I actually, my advice was I think I told you to get a website and promote it, and you just did Facebook.
So we have a website too, but we just.
But you didn't do any search engine optimization and stuff, did you?
No, sir, not till last year. So after about having the company for about a year, we had all that. But
okay. So do you do Google ads?
yes, sir, we do now.
Okay. So you do you have a website company that you pay that kind of make sure that you're ranking well and all that?
Yes, sir.
Are you happy with them?
Yeah, it's called Web Design. He's actually down from the Charleston area. He does pretty good for us.
Yeah. So that, I mean, you know, that's what I was, when you said earlier, I figured you had something like that because, I mean, you know, it does get competitive. And, you know, and I think HVAC, I would assume that you spend a lot of money on your advertising on Google.
Yes, sir. Yeah, Google's it's really big for us, especially we have pretty good reviews on there. We have over 200 reviews, and I think like almost 200 or 5-star reviews. So that, you know, that is pretty good starter for people to see. And most people just go on their phone and just, you know, if their AC's messed up, they just Google, who do I call for AC stuff, you know? So you pop up on there and, oh, hey, this company's got good reviews, let's call them. So that's where we get majority of our work now. It's I would say now we get majority from Google, and then the rest is word of mouth.
Well, Colton, I would say to you that I was sitting here hoping that you were going to tell me you were really in debt. I was going to say, well, man, listen, I know you're in debt. I think I can help you with some capital, and let's go into Greenville together. But you don't need anybody. You're good. I mean, you don't need investors. I mean, the next step for you will be a progressive. I think it just makes sense to go Gaffney, Spartanburg, Greenville, Anderson. I mean, just the entire upstate. I think that you could cover that with, right. You know, truck goes down. Let's say, you know, tech, you know, you got a tech in Greenville that, you know, doesn't show up because he's doing bad things for 2 days. And you're like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Then you can send a guy from Gaffney or Spartanburg. The dots connect. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's definitely something we thought about in the future. But like I say, you just take it one day at a time, and then we'll see what happens.
You don't change a thing, brother. Man, super proud of you. And I'm serious. I really hope all these kids listen to this. And I told you when I shot that out, this is a very important. I've done big league guys. I've done World Series champions. I've done, you know, guys that had gold gloves and, you know, first round draft choice. We've had a lot of these guys on Going with the Deep with the Deacon, but we've never really had, you know, kind of a Mike Rowe. This has kind of been a Mike Rowe podcast from Dirty Jobs. And again, man, I mean, you know, it's so refreshing to see your path because it's different. I hear a lot of parents, they'll even, like, a lot of parents commented on the Facebook post that I put up there, and they love it. But they sent their kids to college, and some of them are couch surfing. You know, I think that I was, you know, you got to talk the talk, walk the talk. I was with Citadel again. You know, shout out to Grant Dorsey for graduating in May.
Yeah, that's where my dad graduated too.
Well, you know that he knows you know what I was going to say. There's a brotherhood.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
These guys do business with each other. I think the return on the investment for Citadel is better than anyone in the state of South Carolina. Oh, yeah. Might be one of the best in the country. It's a real brotherhood. And then I think with my youngest son, you know, he's on a team. He's having to be held accountable. I think there's some value into that. And both of them, you know, I'm proud of the fact that they're doing that. But I think that if they wouldn't have done either one of those, I really would have strongly recommended a trade school. And I think that you're going to see in the next couple years, I think these, because I've seen it myself with people I never thought would have sent their kids to trade schools, and they're choosing it. I think you're going to see it blow up because think about this, Colton. AI is coming in, and it's going to eliminate a tremendous amount of jobs. But when your air conditioner needs to be fixed, you're going to have a Colton Byars. When that plumbing breaks, you're going to have a plumber. When that electrical snaps out and your power goes out, you're going to have an electrician. Those things, and you know what? Garbage is another good business to be in. Oh, so yeah. I think that we kind of got ourselves in a blue-collar world where AI can't touch us.
Right.
Because, I mean, think about the fact that if you're working in an office and you're coming out and you're going to, I mean, I'd be scared to death that my job's going to be replaced by a robot or by AI technology. It's happening. It's already here.
Oh yeah. No doubt about that.
Well, hey, you got any kids?
No, sir.
I know you're only 24, but man, I feel like I'm talking to a 35, 40-year-old guy. So I had, you got your own house paid for, barndominium. Send me a picture of your house.
Yeah.
I think those are so cool.
Yes, sir. I'll do it.
Yeah, all right, man. Tell everybody I said hello. Great talking to you, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. See you, bud.
See you.
Bye.